So let's start at the very beginning.
We're dissecting a guide specifically focused on the psychology and the strategy of having natural, relaxed, real conversations on a first date in English.
Welcome back to Practice English Studio. We're grateful to have you as part of our community.
If you're new here, my name's Grace.
And I'm Theo. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Okay, let's unpack this.
Okay, I want you to picture a scenario. Unless you're driving, of course. Don't close your eyes if you're driving.
Please don't.
But just imagine. It is like the universal nightmare for anyone who's ever been on a date. You're sitting across the table from someone.
Maybe a coffee shop
Yeah.
or, some dimly lit place.
Right. It's a first date. The stakes feel incredibly high because you really want this to go well. And then maybe 10 minutes in, it happens.
The silence.
The silence. And not like a good silence. We're talking about the heavy, suffocating kind. Your mind just goes completely blank.
It's just a white wall.
A total white wall. You're sweating, your heart's pounding, and your brain is just frantically searching, thinking, what on earth do I say now?
It's a real physical panic, and that panic is usually where it all goes wrong.
Yeah.
Because you default to, just survival mode.
Exactly. You go into this interview mode and suddenly the whole vibe shifts. It's not romantic anymore. It's
A job interview.
a job interview. It's robotic. It's awkward. And it usually ends with you going home alone just wondering why you can't be normal.
It's a painful experience, but it is so common.
Right.
For people learning English, that anxiety gets dialed up to like an 11.
Oh, absolutely. Because you're not just worried about being charming. You're also worried about grammar, vocabulary, sentence structure.
You're editing yourself in real time. It's this whole other layer of stress that makes the silence even more terrifying.
Which brings us to our focus today. We've got this really practical guide, and it claims it can fix this exact problem, the first date silence forever.
And I think it's important to say this isn't just about dating. The principles we're going to unpack here, they apply everywhere. Networking events, making new friends.
Not being the awkward person in the break room at work.
Exactly. So let's get into it.
Right.
The guide starts with the root cause of this interview mode. And it's not what most people think. It's not about a lack of words.
That's a huge one.
But the real culprit is a mindset issue. Specifically, it's this obsession with perfect English. You're
Yeah.
performing, not connecting. And that pressure makes you default to what feels safe. And safe is, boring.
The greatest hits of boredom. Where are you from? What do you do?
How long have you been studying English? And think about that dynamic. If I just fire those at you one after the other.
It's transactional. There's no emotional exchange at all. You're just collecting data points on me.
It is.
Huh.
And nobody falls in love during a data transfer. It builds a wall, not a bridge.
Don't try to be perfect. Try to be real. But how do you do that when you're terrified?
Most people try to hide that they're nervous.
Right.
To just drop the shield.
Okay, what is it? What's the phrase?
The phrase is, I was a little nervous, but I'm happy to be here.
I was a little nervous, but I'm happy to be here. Wow, okay. Just saying that feels vulnerable.
That's the whole point. That vulnerability is a shortcut to connection. I mean, think about it. If you're trying to act perfect, but your hands are shaking, you just seem weird, the other person feels that disconnect.
But if you just name it,
If you name it, you own it. Admitting you're nervous actually shows incredible confidence. It's like you're saying, hey, there's an elephant in the room and I'm not afraid to point at it.
and suddenly everyone can relax because the secret's out.
Exactly. And chances are they're nervous too. So you give them permission to be human. Slow it down. I was a little nervous, but I'm happy to be here. It changes the goal from I must impress you to I'm being honest with you.
And honesty is attractive. We spend all this time hiding our flaws, but our flaws are what make us relatable.
Absolutely. Perfection is intimidating. Reality is inviting.
Okay, so we've broken the ice. We're human. But that interview mode trap is still waiting for us. I feel like this is where people still stumble.
This is where the guide gets really technical, and I think it's the most valuable part. It identifies a mechanical error people make. They treat conversation like a game of tennis where you only serve.
Just firing questions back and forth.
Exactly. Question, answer. New question, answer. There's no flow. So the solution is a formula. Ask plus react equals connection.
Ask plus react. Okay, break that
The
down.
rule is simple. Never just ask a question and move on. You have to add a personal comment, a reaction to their answer before asking something else.
Okay, can we try this? I feel like I'm guilty of the wrong way all the time.
Let's do it. I'll be the
Yeah.
date. You do the bad way first. Just ask, don't react.
Okay, interview mode engaged. I'm stiff. I'm nervous. Where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
What do you do?
See? It's so abrupt.
That felt awful. I didn't even register you said Brazil. I was just so scared of the silence I had to get to my next question. It was like I was checking a box.
It felt cold. You just deleted my answer.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's try it again with the ask plus react method.
All right. Deep breath. Where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Oh, wow, really? I've always wanted to visit Brazil. I hear the culture is just amazing.
Boom. Totally different.
Yeah, I felt that. That one little comment I've always wanted to visit, it validates what you said. It shows I was actually listening.
It builds a bridge.
Yeah.
And now we don't have to jump to your job. We can stay on this topic. I could ask, oh, why do you want to visit? And suddenly we're having a real conversation about Brazil
It slows everything down.
drastically. And that takes the pressure off you. You don't need 10 topics. You just need one good one that you can explore.
Another great example with careers, which is such a trap. I mean, what do you do is so boring, but you have to ask it.
You kind of do, yeah. So if they say, I'm an accountant, the worst thing to do is just say, cool, and then, do you have any pets?
The interview mode, check the box, move on.
Right, so the reaction should be something like, oh, that sounds interesting. What do you enjoy about it? Or even just, wow, you must be great with numbers. I'm terrible at math.
See, you did two things there. You validated them, that sounds interesting, and then you reacted to the information. That's the key.
The formula is simple. Ask, wait for the answer, give a reaction, and then let the conversation go where it wants to go. It signals, I am listening to you, and what you say matters.
It seems so simple, but I think when you're nervous, your listening skills just shut down. You're only thinking about what you're going to say next.
Which goes back to the first point. Slow down. You don't need to rush.
Right.
If you stay on one topic and just dig a little deeper with your reactions, you won't run out of things to say.
Okay, speaking of topics. Let's say we've mastered ask plus react. But what do we actually talk about? I feel like I still end up talking about the weather.
The weather is the danger zone, for sure. So the 5 topics that are basically feel safe.
What are they?
The big 5 are food, travel, music, movies, and weekend plans.
Okay, but aren't those kind of basic? Aren't we supposed to be interesting?
They are basic, but that's the point. They're universal. Everyone eats. Everyone has a weekend. You're not asking them about, I don't know, geopolitical theory.
True. They're low risk.
Low risk entry points. And the magic is how you ask. Don't ask, do you like food? That's a dead end.
Right. Yes, end of conversation.
Instead, you ask, what kind of food do you love? It invites passion. It invites a story.
And what do you usually do on weekends is so good because it tells you about their actual life. Are they a hiker or a Netflix binger?
It reveals compatibility without an interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
And now, a story about a date.
I loved this part. It started out as a complete disaster.
A total
Yeah.
disaster. The silence is creeping in. You know that feeling where you can hear yourself chewing?
Ugh, the worst. You can hear your own heartbeat.
It was that bad.
Mhm.
And so what do? They take a huge risk. Just says, okay, let's talk about the worst first dates we've ever had.
That is so bold, talking about bad dates on a first date.
But it's brilliant. The result was instant connection. They just started laughing and relaxed, and suddenly speaking English felt easy.
Why does that work? Isn't that a negative topic?
Because it creates this us against the world vibe. We're bonding over a shared, funny, miserable experience. It's real.
It goes right back to the main theme. Real emotion beats perfect English. Laughing together is a real emotion.
Exactly. Don't look for perfect lines. Look for real moments. That was a search for a real moment, and it completely paid off.
Okay, so we have the mindset, the technique, the safe topics, but what about when the other person is talking and you're just listening?
Active listening, yeah. It's harder than it sounds, especially in a second language.
It is. You're just sitting there nodding and smiling, but you don't know how to keep them going. You feel like a bobblehead doll.
And if you're just silent, They might think you're bored or you don't understand. So the source gives a toolkit of short phrases to keep the ball in their court.
Like little verbal nudges.
Perfect way to put it. Things like, really, that's interesting, or that sounds fun, or a slightly deeper one, how did that make you feel?
Ooh, that's a good one. It shows you care about more than just the facts of the story.
For sure. But there's one phrase in the toolkit that the guide says is the ultimate weapon against silence.
Which one?
Tell me more about that.
Ah, so simple. Tell me more about that.
It's the conversational equivalent of just opening a door wide open. If someone says they like hiking and you say, tell me more about that, you've just given them permission to talk about something they love.
And it takes all the pressure off you. You don't have to think of a new topic.
None. It shows you're engaged, it flatters them, and it buys you time to just listen and relax. It turns one sentence into a whole paragraph.
I feel like that's one everyone listening should practice saying out loud right now. Tell me more about that.
And the tone is everything. It has to be curious, not, like a police interrogation, but genuine interest.
Before we wrap this section, the source defines two key words we've been using a lot: nervous and awkward.
Yes, a simple but really important distinction. The source defines nervous as a little scared or excited. It's an internal feeling. It's happening inside you.
The butterflies, the sweaty palms.
Exactly. That's nervous. But awkward is defined as uncomfortable or strange. That's about the situation between two people.
So you feel nervous, which makes the silence feel awkward.
Perfect. And remember the logic. Admitting you're nervous stops the situation from becoming awkward. If you hide it, it leaks out and creates awkwardness. If you admit it, the awkwardness just dissolves.
I love that. It really feels like a complete framework, from the first hello to a real conversation.
It is. It stops treating language like an academic test and starts treating it like what it is, a tool for human connection.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap. If you're heading into a social situation, what are the three big takeaways?
Takeaway 1, be real, not perfect. Vulnerability is the key. Saying I was a little nervous is your secret weapon.
Takeaway 2.
Ask plus react. Always. Never just ask a question. Add a personal comment. That is how you kill the interview mode.
And number 3.
Use your toolkit, especially that magic phrase, tell me more about that. It keeps the other person talking and takes the pressure off.
And there's one final piece of advice we have to repeat. Practice out loud.
Yes. You can't just learn this in your head. You have to physically say the words. That sounds interesting. Your mouth needs the muscle memory so that when the anxiety hits, the words are just there for you.
That's how you build real confidence. It's not magic, it's just repetition.
Absolutely.
So next time you're alone in your apartment or driving your car, just practice that line. I was a little nervous, but I'm happy to be here.
It's a game changer.
You know, this whole thing, this idea of perfection versus connection, it really got me thinking. You don't need perfect English. You need real connection.
That's such a powerful line.
It is, and it makes you wonder, where else in life does this apply? Ask yourself as you're listening to this, in what other areas of your life, at work, with your family, with friends, are you trying so hard to be perfect that you're actually missing the chance to be real?
That is a big question. We put on this armor of perfectionism thinking it protects us, but a lot of the time it just isolates us.
Maybe just being a little nervous but happy to be here is the secret to everything. Thanks again for listening to Practice English Studio. Sharing really helps support what we do here.
If you feel like part of the group, you want to help the group grow.
Go out there, be real, and we'll see you in the next practice.
Goodbye, everyone.